In the same light that you would ask your dentist what toothbrush do you use or what toothpaste do you use, I'd like to ask the climate experts on the panel 5 things that you would suggest that we could do to help mitigate this problem, and 5 things maybe that you yourselves are doing, being maybe better understanding the problem than average day citizens sitting here in the audience.
I can do a couple of them anyway. Get a job close to where you live. Probably that's one of the biggest things that all of us can do. And then use public transport or a bicycle or your own feet to get to work. That would solve a lot of the problem. Energy efficiency in your home and in your life. Figure out ways to use less energy, use less electricity. Those compact fluorescent bulbs, very good idea. Someone else want to add a couple more?
Along those lines, I mean, we've put our house over to CFL bulbs, and we recycle extensively. I have my heating and cooling units thermostated. One thing we do in the summertime, because we're heat pump and driven, and the heat pump is much more efficient if the outside air is the coolest, is that I use the thermostat to run the heat pump overnight when it's cool outside, and I cool the house down overnight. And then typically it doesn't come on until afternoon, even on the hottest days. So I run the thermostat higher anyway. We keep it at about 78 in the house, and it's, of course, the key there is having it low humidity. You feel much more comfortable. But the air conditioning system accomplishes that. But I run it at a time when I can get the maximum efficiency out of it, given the outside temperature. And I do that with the air conditioner as well. We have an air conditioner and a heat pump. But thermostating your house and having, turning it back during the day when you're not there, things like that, so you can drive down your energy use. Turning off lights. I've gone through my house. I mean, I've gone through all the appliances, and I realize now one of the largest elements in our house is the electric clothes dryer, because I have 2 daughters who run track and cross country, and they come home coated every night with dirt, and so I have to clean their track uniforms and everything almost every other day. So we're doing a lot of laundry, but that really, I've been amazed, that really uses a lot of energy if you're using a dryer. So go through your house and try to find out where where your drains are. It's amazing, even a 5-watt bulb, I've turned off some clock radios that we don't use in rooms, guest rooms, whatever. Those things they take 10, 12 kilowatt hours a year. I mean, it seems small, but you got 5 or 6 of those on, and all of a sudden you've got 1 or 2% of your energy use. Outside lights, we've turned off our outside lights at the doors. I mean, that was 10% of my energy use, was cranking 200 watts out to keep the lights around my front door lit. So you can just go through and do some very simple calculations and see where your energy usage is that you really don't need, and you can cut back. And we've seen it in our energy bill. We have seen it come down.
I'm going to add one more thing. Also have an informed decision. When you see an activity like this, come and attend it and ask more questions. Because if you know the information well, you're going to have the best informed decision ever. And I think that's a very important part of the whole of being aware of mitigating around the problem. Just come over here, ask questions. Don't be afraid of disagreeing with anybody, because it's all something for our best benefit in the whole planet.
I could not agree with you more, and I'd add further to that. What we really need to move forward in here is we need responsible stewardship of the planet, and we need sustainable development in this country and elsewhere. We, the United States, are the biggest emitter of greenhouse gases on the planet. Every person in this room has an extreme power at their disposal, and this is a democracy, and you can exercise it with a vote. And we've got an election coming up in November, and even though I sound funny, I actually get to vote because I'm a citizen, and I'm going to vote, and the environment's going to be a big part of that. Exercise your vote. Think about it, look at what the candidates are saying out there, and vote on environment and other issues too. That's your power. Your power is to be informed, and you actually have the ability to do something about it. So, and just you being here demonstrates, not only to us, but to yourselves, that you have some commitment. So enjoy that, embrace it, and use it.
And just one other point to add on that, it's, we talk about the power usage in the United States, and yes, we are currently the power hogs, but in about 10 or 15 years, that's probably not going to be the case. In fact, our economy right now is the largest economy in the world, but by the time y'all are our age, that's not going to be the case either. India and China will have the largest economies, and they will be consuming proportionally larger amounts of power unless there's an alternative to fossil fuels found. So we've got to work to find the alternatives, especially for the developing nations whose populations are 6 times our current population, and everybody wants to be comfortable. They want to have air conditioning, they want to have cars, they want to have nice homes, and that's all going to happen. But if we don't come up with the alternatives, and if they, on a per capita basis, consume the amount of power that we do, we're only going to increase the strength of the global warming because of the fuel consumption. That's why gas is $4 a gallon now. That's why oil is $120 a barrel, is because the world demand is driving those prices up for these developing nations. And so it's a global problem, and while we want to sit here and beat up the United States, and in some cases perhaps appropriately so, we have to realize that in 20 years from now, 30 years from now, we're not going to be, if status quo is maintained, we're not going to be the largest polluters. So it's a global issue, and so there's going to be political, social and political issues that have to be resolved with that as well. So we can't solve it alone by either our elections. We have to elect the right people, but those who are also going to engage the international community in dealing with this, which is a worldwide problem, and one that's not going to go away for a couple hundred years.